Hey Slab family. So behind me is a 4.5 by 3 foot dry pour concrete pad. It was the first time that I have ever tried to do something like this. This only cost me less than $100 and it took about 2 hours total time, but it did take about 48 hours to cure. So I'm gonna take you in and show you some of my raw feelings about how this came out. I would say that I am thoroughly impressed with this concrete pad. I put a edging finish all the way around using a 3x6 edging trowel that I got at Home Depot, and the inside has a little more of a grainy texture, and that's kind of the natural texture from running a 2x4 over the frame and smoothing it out. One thing I noticed is that on the edge all the way around you can kind of see some looseness, and I imagine that that is what happens when you do dry pour versus pre-mix with water. One thing I'd probably do differently next time is just compress more of the Quikrete inside of the frame before I water, just to make sure I kind of get any air out. I imagine in the middle it's probably not going to be this loose. This is more just the edge along with the 2x4 framing. Standing on top of it, it is very solid. I would say that the edges have a little bit of looseness to it, probably 'cause it's still curing and because the top is a mortar finish. But this thing is going to do the trick for the price point and the ease. I am thoroughly impressed, and I definitely recommend trying this for any small applications at your home. In this case, I'm going to be building a set of stairs for my back deck, which if you want to watch that video, you can click the link in the description, or you can stick along and watch the rest of this video as I take you step by step with how I did it and just how easy it was to accomplish. So thanks for watching. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to frame out with my lumber where that pad's going to be, and then I'm going to hammer it in the ground a little bit just to make sure it's really settled. It's rained a lot over the last few days, so everything is pretty wet, which will help. So the first step is I have my framing lumber. I'm going to cut it to size, build my square. Alright, that's that. One thing to note is I did buy the cheapest stud lumber at Home Depot I could get. Typically tends to be the straightest lumber. Alright, so I'm going ahead and I'm banging my frame in the ground a little bit just to get it level, and that way it won't move once the process of filling it with Quikrete starts. So I'm going to go ahead and get the bags in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a mixture of about 75% Quikrete, and then for the top layer I'm doing a mortar mix so it's got a finer finish, so that when I go to smooth it out and trowel and edge, it doesn't have a bunch of rocks I'm fighting with. The reason I'm spending this much time smoothing it out is because now that I got about, I don't know, say almost half of it filled up, I got this what I call chicken coop wire, galvanized 19 gauged mesh wire. There's a roll I got 2 foot by 5 foot, almost the perfect size to just lay right in the middle of here. Kind of simulates the rebar effect that they use when pouring concrete.
You want to hammer that out straight?
Is it just a little long? Go ahead and start pouring on top. Let's see. Quikrete mortar mix. Oh yeah.
Alright, precision, accuracy.
Click. As you saw, I spent a lot of time troweling around the edges, trying to get just clean lines, trying to get this portrait frame look. But I got it to a place to where I feel really happy with it. By no means is it 100% perfect, but for my first attempt, I'm very pleased with it. All right, so here we go with the first light mist over the top. I think the recommendation would be if you have a nozzle with a kind of a little bit of a quicker, heavier mist setting, just spray it up instead of add it so that it falls down more gently. Hey, so I'm back, about to do another misting. After the first one, I just wanted to make sure that the top, started to get a little bit hardened so that the shape stayed. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of a longer, deeper misting, and then probably in about an hour, 2 hours, maybe after dinner, I'll come back and I'll really just get after it and soak it real good. And I'll probably do that a couple times this evening. So as you might be able to see, I've got really no puddling on top, but I do see a heavy layer of water starting to sink in. So that's where I'm going to let it be for probably another hour, and then I'll come back and I'll really super soak it. Keep in mind, like I said earlier in the video, the ground was wet from just the rain this past week, so the bottom is also soaking up water into the foundation of this Quikrete. I think it's going to be really solid. Okay, it's been just about 48 hours. This thing is solid as a rock. I'm finally gonna take off the frame, forms, and we'll take a look at how the edges look. This is a solid 4-inch pad. I'm very pleased with how it came out. This ain't going anywhere. This thing is solid.